So this is how to use gating so that when you press a sound or have an audio file create a sound, it will trigger the groove shadow through transients. So we have our gate set up, and you're going to have to mess with this, but essentially you set it up on the groove shadow, at least with the case of this gating plugin, and then I'm pointing it towards the first instrument, and then in these other ones I'm pointing them towards the instrument that's right below it. And so in this first example, I just use a synthesizer, and every time the synthesizer sounds, it's triggering a different part of the groove shadow, whichever part it happens to be in. And of course I could move this all around if I wanted to change the actual texture of that certain punctuation. Anyways, it sounds like this. So it's like a perfect cut, a perfect splice, if you will. And if it's too snappy or poppy, you can mess with like the attack. If there's not enough meat to it, you can adjust the hold or the release. You can adjust the hysteresis, and that's really going to have a drastic impact on, let's say, how the noise sort of swells and how much of it is captured, similar to reduction. And then, of course, threshold is going to be where you're going to have to finesse this all so that you get like the precise punctuation based on whatever levels you have going on. So here's a couple more examples of that. I just wanted to show like how the sound precisely hits, so I chose like a short stabby sound. But another cool thing is you can create a lesser shadow just by changing the volume. And then of course you can run both of these to one bus or aux channel and then have them like simultaneously process to kind of better combine them. Alright, so the next one is the groove shadow is triggered by the drum beat, which is the main point. That's one of the main drivers of the groove shadow. So something like this, you could do this, and then you could just swap out the drums, or you could have just the groove shadow playing the drum, all kinds of crazy stuff. You could rebounce this so that it has the drum pattern without the actual drum in it as well. So, but here it is with the drum triggering the groove shadow. We're still in gate mode, and we have similar settings, maybe a little more hold. And I think I chose a different characteristic for this. This is band reject as opposed to band pass. But this is Logic's very basic gating system. There's a lot of the additional gating systems out there. The key thing is to be able to utilize the sidechain, which is the tricky part. Alright, so the last one, I just did a reverse, which is, they call it ducking in this plugin. And so essentially, when the beat sounds, the groove shadow goes off. So it's the reverse effect, but you can create some very cool things doing this, messing with this. So if you think about adding a delay effect on top of that, or reverb, and then modulating that with some automation or something, I mean, it's really going to open up a lot of doors. And that's the power of the groove shadows. They have a life of their own, and they add a lot of variety to material.